Blocks of Life started by me writing down thoughts and ideas for my son when he was too young to understand them. I thought it would be really interesting, now that my son is an adult, to have a conversation with him about some of the main points of Blocks of Life and get his take on these ideas. So I want to welcome Peter. Thanks for doing this.
Hello, happy to be here.
So I wanted to start off with the main thrust of Blocks of Life is how to live a meaningful life. And so I wanted to start off by saying, what does a meaningful life mean to you? And what are some of the things that gives your life meaning?
I'm kind of absurdist in my belief. I'm forgetting the guy's name. He's a famous writer from France, I believe. Absurdism basically says that there's not much meaning that we can all kind of grasp to in this life that we find ourselves in, and so it's important to make one for yourself and find one that drives you and continues to drive you and stuff like that. And having that kind of lack of overall meaning, we kind of have to find one for ourselves, you know what I mean? And so in every person's life, that's going to look different. And for example, in my life, I tend to try and leave as much of a positive impact on someone that I can. So like where I work, people walk in front of me and, you know, back and forth, and I greet them as they come in, something simple, because my job isn't necessarily interactive, you know what I mean? And so as they come in, I kind of lead them to what they need to do or what have you. If it's a friend, I'll say hello, but on the way out, I always try to say a little something to make their day, or like make them chuckle a little bit. Like it was cold here for a couple of weeks, so to 5 people in a row, I said, "Stay warm out there," and they were like, "Man, I'll try," you know, something like that. But that's something that kind of is there for me in that way.
It's really interesting because the absurdist perspective is that there is no general idea of meaning in life and that you have to create your own. Whereas what I'm trying to do is create a statement of the general meaning of life.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, that perspective. It'll be interesting to see if we come up with ideas where you're like, no, that I would disagree that's a kind of a general statement about a meaningful life, but here's my individual example or something like that.
Yeah.
What are some of the specific things that gives your life meaning, or what are some specific goals you have that would kind of give you a meaningful life?
I think, like I said, that kind of other perspective is something that I aim to achieve a lot. And so, you know, making jokes to people, smiling at people, even if I know I'm never going to see that person again or something like that. One of the things I've been working on recently is presence and being present in things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, that kind of is exemplified through trying to appreciate nature as often as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Even just sitting here, I'm appreciating that holly tree over there for still being as green as it is, and the dark brown and grays that we have right now in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
So, you know, appreciation of what's around you, and you know, things to that aim kind of help me to stay grounded as I appreciate what I step on and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Living in the present moment can be challenging for sure, especially I think in this modern age when there's just so many distractions around you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you try to do to kind of remain present?
One of the things that I still have trouble with, honestly, is to, whenever possible, reorient my priorities. So like, with everything going on in the world, all of these conflicts and devastation to people and everything like that, I try to remember what is in my control and what I can do. So I'll fall into habits of doom scrolling so incredibly easily. And so after a time like that, I allow myself to get absorbed in it and everything like that. I have to take a step back, breathe, compose myself even at times, and ground myself almost again, you know.
Right.
What I mean?
Right.
You know, like you're saying, with all of the information and everything that we have in the modern age, it's really, really easy to be dragged away from where you are to all of these other places with all of this other stuff going on, whether it be fantastic foods, gorgeous views, bad things, as I've been talking about, or anything else like that, it's real easy to see everything else and forget what is right in front of you.
Yeah.
So,
And you started this answer by kind of talking about how you can have a positive impact in your immediate life, and you talked about grounding, and grounding is one of the main aspects of mindfulness is being grounded. And so, like I think thinking about your own life and the things that you have influence on in the face of all the kind of scary bad stuff that's happening in the world, that makes a lot of sense to me.
yeah. I think that something else that has helped me is kind of controlling my own reaction to things as well. I used to think honestly that was a method of bottling up emotions or what have you, but it honestly is more of a test of mental strength than anything else. Because I'm forgetting the number right now, but every day we're seeing more and more and more ads in everywhere. You know what I mean? Every single media or form of entertainment or anything like that. And so, even with just advertisements, it's real easy to get wrapped up into it and picked up by that, seeing all of these different things because it just feeds into this need for information that we have. But sometimes good to starve that need and helps you, at the least, maintain some sort of attention span.
Yeah, that makes sense.